Hi guys, so today we will be doing the strongest robot thingies to the weakest. Well, we're only doing Omnidroid V1 through V9, so let's get into it. The first soldier, Special Forces to be exact, strikes the Omnidroid with a submachine gun. Yeah, hold on. It barely does anything as most Omnidroids are kind of bulletproof, so there. However, this first Omnidroid doesn't have claws that can extend to kill. Oh, so as you can see, these bend very quickly. So the rocket launcher guy hurts the Omnidroid, severely. See? He died himself, actually, matter of fact. He died from the explosion, but let's count the rocket launcher as one thing. Nope, we're moving on to the next soldiers. So that blew up the whole entire front. I'm sorry for the lag, but yeah. The next soldier strikes the Omnidroid, but no surprise, gets hurt. And it wins this very easily, basically. So yeah, it isn't really a fight. All of them are dead, except these two that are still going to be fighting. The Omnidroid recognizes it and doesn't take that lightly. Yeah. The Omnidroid is strong. And stronger than humans. And that is version 1. And it's not designed for a specific ability because it doesn't have abilities because it's the first variant of Omnidroids. So yes. So I'm gonna start deleting. Well, I really don't have to do it like this. I can do a bunch delete. Like this, I believe. There. Now it's a lot clearer. There. Now let's move on to the next one, where these soldiers from the rocket launcher exploded. Now he gets a lot more soldiers because he's a lot more stronger. First soldier tries to strike it, fails miserably, and he's just hurting himself. Then he gets hurt. Now the other one strikes. Well, attempts to. He gets somewhat far. And then he strikes again, and oh, he's mounted. He escapes from the mounted. Surprising. But he's getting crushed. Anyways. First couple were eliminated actually easily. So the Omnidroid also has to protect his side right here. So this guy strikes it. Well, attempts to, but the body. And now he's kind of mounted. So he's mounted now. He's basically useless, and the Omnidroid likes to play with his victims, so yeah. The second one tries to escape, but he also has an unfortunate death. But he actually escaped the mounted, but he gets killed eventually. Now on this side of the front, there isn't really much left to be killed, but there still is some soldiers attempting to attack the Omnidroid. Now these ones are dead. So the Omnidroid is kind of playing with its victims now. So it uses its small thrusters to absolutely demolish them. Now it uses up almost all of its extendable claws. So now it doesn't really have abilities for the other victims. Except like one claw, but yeah. But he can also use this as a long-range attack. Even when attempting to fight back, they can't fight back. The Omnidroids are hard to kill. This is just a warm-up. See? Now, oh God, where did it go? I don't know, but we have to clean this up. Well, he got damaged. So I'm gonna count that. And now this guy probably is gonna lose this one, actually. He is Bob V3, and he's fighting a lot of giant things, and he's also fighting a giant of his own, but this giant is actually a lot weaker than Bob, so it's just a little fair fight. Bob also has a biometric scanner, so Bob is probably gonna win this even with him. Anyways, the fight starts now. Bob instantly strikes the heads of its victims, but it has noticeable damage. But Bob doesn't have really any abilities, so it just kind of does that for a little. Then noticeable damage on its head, and now these spider webs attach. Now its head is kind of hurt, and they just throw themselves at Bob. And now Bob is kind of dismantled, and now he has to fight this giant. Thing about this giant is, he isn't normal. He isn't. Hold on, guys, This giant is not normal for his category, in fact. He's known for stopping time. So, he can stop time. So, let me clean this up to reduce lag. Even though it's really reduced, we have to have this spotless. Sorry, guys, I know it's taking a while, but we need to do this for the battle. No, I'm not deleting Bob. Now, this guy can stop time. So, in the middle of his strike, he stops time. He advances. This is why he has all of his wires. He wanted the wires because not much people know why he wanted the wires, but he's able to stop time so he can kind of trap the enemy inside of a thing with the wires being attached to him. So he uses most of his body to attach him because he knows if he doesn't do this, he's basically already dead. And he's one of the only people that know how to time stop. So there, a kamikaze happened, basically. And that eliminates Bob. It eliminated Bob. And it also eliminated him, however. It eliminated Bob, but it also eliminated him. So, I'm going to show you the final battle. Y'all are going to love this. But, here's V9. Here is V9 compared to a regular person. V9 isn't your typical Omnidroid. Compared to the other Omnidroids, there isn't much of a difference you thought at first. It's just bigger, right? It has a scanner. Not only that, but throw it up. It enables its claws. Let's say if it's going out of control. Let's say if it's just going out of control, the Omnidroid's out of control. Let's show you an example. Let me just throw it out of control. It has like stabilizer where even if it's out of control, it will still regain control. So it can easily beat the Omnidroids. It doesn't have much attacks except the claws, but it can kind of like trap the smaller enemies in like a little box that then tortures them to death, basically. That's why he's a terrible thing to encounter if you're small. And now, they can easily beat the Omnidroids. Bob, the one that used to be the strongest and the biggest out of the Omnidroids, now looks like a little tiny soccer ball compared to this giant thing. The only thing that can even fight it. And still, if they actually went head on, like this is actual head on, the Omnidroid would most likely go in the sky. Most likely. And then bring himself to the target. Like this. Sneak behind him and kaboom! He just died. And the Omnidroid, if it's thrown off track, can instantly stabilize. Even if it's like this, it can still stabilize. See? So, what it does to its victims, especially the large ones, it attempts to trap it like this. Because the large ones have a control. This is fully generated. Fully self-controlled. So, you kind of get trapped under the Omnidroid. And it doesn't let you go, so your pilot is eventually dead. In fact, the best way to actually kill it is remove this real quick. No. Get it like this. No, don't go up. There. See how it... Basically, the Omnidroid is the strongest. Not even that can defend against it. And now, watch my other videos for more hand-to-hand combat. I'm out.